Hey everyone, welcome to Our Kind of Homesteading. We're your host, Sherry.
And Shauna.
Good job. Now, we were just totally laughing because I don't even realize how bossy I am until I see myself on camera, apparently. And our very first YouTube video for this podcast, and I said my name, and I'm like, and I like literally, I'm like, say your name, like, and I just have this facial expression. I just
but Sherry points to me, and she's
so
the thing. I don't know if you ever, but you always pointed to me, like, but we weren't on camera before. We were just doing our podcast.
Did I really?
And
Did
so
I have
anytime
that facial expression, because I wanted to slap it right off my face.
You
like,
literally every time
back on
we did it, you would be like, you say our intro and be like, I'm Sherry, and then you point to me like, it's your cue, bitch. Let's go.
And you need me to cue you, apparently, obviously.
Oh, I love it so much. Anyways. That's funny.
We were both in like moods. We kind of are both in moods. Not anymore, thanks to Shauna's husband. But so we were both in moods right before we got started with us all. And you know when you're just in a mood and you just don't fucking feel doing anything.
For no reason, though. It wasn't like we're like in a mood. Well, I guess it's kind of reason.
I have a reason. I'm on my fucking period. I have a very good reason.
I don't have a
very good reason. And anyways, Shauna's like, I'm not in the mood. God, I don't want to do this. Oh my God. And her husband's like, should I make fun of myself? You mean to tell you stories? And she's like, yes. And while he's setting up, he totally proceeds to tell us how he fell walking into work. He's like going on. It was hysterical. And Shauna's like,
and that's like the best kind of humor, when people are like falling or run into things. That's the best.
It is. I mean, why do you think they have all those shows and videos where people just fucking fall all the time? I mean, because people think it's
like
hilarious.
That slapstick really gets me, But like the real stuff,
I'm there for it.
Here for it. But before we get started, I feel like I can't look at you now because my chair's turned so much to the side. I can't like see you. You should come say hi into the camera.
Oh, when I cut my hair.
Oh, he has to wait till he cuts his hair before he says hi into the camera.
He's like, I'm not camera ready today. Thank you very much. We get it. I get it. I totally get that. I feel that deep to my soul.
But before we get started, we wanted to mention how much we appreciate all of our new followers. We have a lot of new followers on YouTube.
Yes.
And I know you guys, we only have a couple videos up there, but if you guys wanted to listen to any of our old podcasts, we have quite a few on a lot of different podcast directories, pretty much all of them. All of them.
Anywhere you listen to a podcast, you can find our podcast. And I think we're about to hit 50 episodes, which is really cool. So there's a ton of info that we've already put out there.
Is
lots
our
of content.
50th? Would that be a year? 52. Oh, 52. I can't count. I don't know.
What is happening right now?
Why?
That was weird.
Why is that weird? I thought 50 was our year, like, anniversary, basically. 52. But it's 52.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't freaking know. Jesus Christ.
I always know I really offended Shauna when she's like, Jesus Christ. That's how you know you really offended her, people. That's not a joke. Yeah, she's sitting here, she's fucking pissed at me.
No, I'm super happy with you right now.
Liar. So anyways,
yes.
We appreciate all of our listeners, our followers, everyone out there, and it would be so helpful to us, and it takes only 2 minutes of your guys' time if you could, like, subscribe, share, comment, all the things. And I know I just listed 4 things. I said 2 minutes, but maybe 5 minutes. I mean, I don't know. It would take me 5 minutes.
That long. But not just on YouTube, but through our Captivate. It helps us a ton if you comment through Captivate.
Right, exactly.
So, yes, we would appreciate it.
And rate our podcast. That would be freaking swell.
Do all of the things, okay? It might take you 30 minutes, but...
You're fine. Look what we do for you. You see these? What is this? It's all this stuff, technical bullshitty. Like, we do all this. Anyways.
Maybe we shouldn't have podcasted today.
We're like, we are swearing and joking. That's what you get today. And I'm making fun of Shauna. That's it.
What we're talking about is hacks. And we've done homestead hacks before, so this is homestead hacks part 2. You're welcome. And we are just thinking of other things because we always try to think about things we do on a daily basis, but we don't think about.
Yeah.
Or as that would be like advice for people that have been homesteading or just getting into it. So we were trying to make a list of things that we thought might be helpful.
Definitely.
That you don't just know unless you have been doing it for a while.
Right, exactly. You you glean these little things of little tidbits of wisdom after you've been in the trenches more or less for however many, years. And then you're like, oh, shit, I could have been doing this that entire time. Cool. So we're here for you. Okay, so first off, I think we'll start with chickens. There's a ton you can do.
Chicken hacks.
So many chicken hacks. Okay, so first one, your chicken manure, and you probably already know this, but chicken manure is great for your garden. It is super hot, meaning it will burn your plants.
There's a lot of nitrogen in it, which isn't a bad thing. So the only thing you need to do is basically set it out like
just let it sit
4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
If not longer in your garden before you go to plant anything.
Right.
So.
And by letting it sit, we mean you could simply literally just leave it in a freaking container outside of your garden or in your garden.
Compost, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Wherever you want. And then after that number of weeks.
Or you can just throw it right into your garden if nothing's in there and just let it chill.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Like during the winter, you could just put that shit literally right on your garden beds, on that dirt. So, yeah, that's a great hack, but it is important to let it sit though. A lot of people think they can just like toss without letting it decompose or compost, they think they just toss it onto their plants, and because of the high nitrogen, it will burn the crap out of your plant. So don't do that. Yeah,
it's better just to lay it all out and let it like chill in the garden area in your garden bed, and then you go ahead and plant whenever your planting season is. Ours is May. So if you put it out a few weeks before that, like pretty much when you start your seeds and then you throw, your manure onto your garden, it's probably like a good timing for all of that.
Yeah.
The next chicken hack is, which some people know and some people don't, is that you can leave your unwashed eggs out of the fridge. So they don't have to take up refrigeration space. They can sit out on your counter.
They have a bloom. It's called a bloom, and that covers their shell and essentially just keeps them good as long as it's not washed away. So as soon as it's washed away, they will need to go back, into your fridge to stay good. They won't be able to stay on your shelf for any amount of time after they're washed. So the hard thing with this is if your chickens, I have some new layers this year, and they are the messiest birds, I swear.
Yeah, some are just messier than others.
Well, I feel like it's these new ones I've never had. They're just like, why are you so fucking messy? What is happening in your brain? It's weird. And so the girls will bring the eggs in, and they're just covered in chicken shit. And
then
just
you have
dirt
to wash
and
them.
gross.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, that is not sitting on my counter. And so if the girls bring in clean eggs, those sit on the counter in the basket. But if they come in and the eggs are just filthy and disgusting, those are getting washed and those are put in the fridge.
Yeah, and on the counter they'll last like about 3 weeks or so. People always wonder how you test a bad egg from a good egg, and you can float them if you really feel like you should, or if you found a clutch and you're not sure how long it sat there. I think we've talked about that before, but you can definitely tell an old egg if you crack it open and the yolk is really runny. That's
a very, very bad egg.
It's a bad egg, and just toss it and don't eat that one and open the next one. So I don't ever float mine, but I mean you totally can.
Yeah, you're saying what's the point if you're cracking them open anyways?
Yeah.
I guess if you were going to hard boil them, you would have to know.
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
That's true. But that's only if you find an old clutch, or if they've been sitting out for a long time. That's the only reason something would it would go bad. They don't turn bad very quickly.
Yeah, no. If you're collecting every day or every other day, you're good.
Yeah, and in the refrigerator they last for months.
Yeah, for sure. I just saw the grossest thing on Facebook.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was gross.
No.
She hard boiled some fresh eggs.
No.
Yeah.
We don't need to know this. Nobody needs to know this.
And she's like, what is wrong with this egg? And she'd cracked it partially, and it was purple inside, but it was
what the?
It was a baby. Obviously, the baby had only grown a certain extent and then stopped growing, and then.
Why are you telling this story?
It was awful. I'm just saying, you should definitely do something to know that your eggs aren't fertilized before. You're toss them in some hot water.
What the?
It was crazy. I was oh my God. I mean, everyone fucks up. I totally get it. But
no, I guess. But if I find eggs and I know I didn't collect them, within a day, I candle them for sure.
100%.
I candle them.
And the candling is so easy. I literally
so simple.
I go into our bathroom because we don't have a big window in our bathroom, so it's super dark if you don't have the light on. And our guest bathroom, Anyways, I go in there, take my phone, put the egg over the flashlight of my phone, and then if it's solid and you can't see light through it, there's a baby inside.
And sometimes you can even see it like moving around if it's really small, which is kind of cool for your kids to see. But then you should put it back.
Put that back.
You know.
I mean, whatever. Yeah.
I mean, I put it back. Even if I can see anything moving or if it's any kind of dark, it goes back and it's going to be a baby chick that my husband will hate.
I think it's up to the hen.
But yeah, we definitely, if I know that we haven't collected eggs, they have to be candled because that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't like going to a dark room. I just like hide them really close into my shirt, and then
You would do that.
That's what I do.
I could totally see you doing that.
Yeah, I do it on a daily basis almost.
You're like, this is happening
because I have some nest where I know I have, but I just have to go out and mark them, and I just have been too lazy to take like a Sharpie out there, to mark the egg.
Yeah.
And so I know that one egg in that nest is fertilized. But so every time I take the eggs, I'm like, wait, okay, I know it was this color of an egg, but then there will be another color of that egg, so I'll just candle it really fast. Like,
no, everything gets candled unless it comes from our actual chicken coop where those chickens are permanently locked up, because I don't want them being eaten or anything. Unless it comes from that chicken coop, everything is candled because those are just free range fucking birds and they're just laying all the time. And the girls happen upon a nest like, oh look, Mom, we found 40 fucking eggs. Oh great, okay, those are all being candled.
Yeah,
I don't know, you know what I mean?
Exactly,
it's like
exactly.
Yes,
for sure.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so our next chicken hack, we're doing lots of different ones. It's not all chicken, so
yeah, random stuff. We're doing some.
If you don't have chickens, hold your horses. So you can diatomaceous earth, which people use in their garden a lot to sprinkle for to get rid of garden pests.
Yes.
You can actually sprinkle it once you clean out your chicken coop, or when you do, sprinkle it around the inside of your chicken coop and whatever, and it helps to get rid of like the mites and the lice.
Yeah.
Naturally. You can also put it out for dust baths. If you want to use it as specifically for a dust bath, you should mix it with like 1 part sand and is it a half a cup? I can't remember. I think it's a half a cup of the DE. And then
sorry.
And you can also use this as a natural dewormer if you get a food grade one. That's like, I guess, slightly controversial. I don't know why. It doesn't hurt your chickens at all. But you can also use it, but it's a very it's like a 1/4 cup of the DE per 35 ounces of food.
Yes, that sounds right. A 1/4 cup. You said a 1/4 cup per.
Yeah.
Yes, per 35 ounces.
So you'd have to do some measuring.
It's controversial because everything is controversial. It turns out.
True.
So that's why that's controversial.
Good point. Good point. So yeah,
another controversial. While we're on that topic, using ashes from your fireplace to give your chickens a bath.
That is controversial.
So I've done that like forever.
And also you just put your wood ash out.
Yeah,
and they use it as dust baths, and it also helps with lice and mites.
Yeah, and so they absolutely love it. Now, I want to note I don't put the ashes inside their enclosed coop area. Like, don't put it in an enclosed area, obviously, because that obviously breathing all that in, and only that obviously would lead to some issues.
Shove our chickens into the fireplace and tell them, to enjoy their day.
I just take our ashes and I dump them on where they're always free ranging, and then they have at it. And it's like, I don't know, I've never, ever, ever had any issues from it. My chickens they're great. They're healthy. I don't ever have things die unless they're taken by a hawk. So there you go. I don't know. But I know some people are like, absolutely not. That is not good for your chickens.
Yeah, some people say that it's the potassium in it, and other people are like, no, that's wouldn't affect them, and chickens need a certain amount of calcium and potassium.
Yeah, and our chickens will even peck at it. Like they
you can even, again, controversial, but you can even mix a very small part, it's like not a lot at all, with their feed, and it's supposed to be good for them because it adds in some calcium.
Yeah.
So if you see them pecking at it, if you do make a dust bath for them,
you don't have to worry. They're not going to die or anything.
Yeah.
But again, that's just our perspective and our, experiences.
So if you don't come at us, if you're all like,
I don't want to debate. I'm not going to debate anybody. That's what I do. It's never changing. So, but I get that some people are like worried about it. I mean, it is ash from wood. So I get being like, how would that be okay? But it is for us. I don't know. Eggshells. From your chickens. So I just crush ours up and give it right back to them. We go through a lot of eggs, and my chickens produce a lot of eggs, and they're always getting scraps from our kitchen, and so I just crush up the eggshells and put it in with all the other scraps, and they just munch it down. But you can also put it on your garden for...
Well, it's just getting back to like giving the eggshells back to your chickens. Your chickens need a certain amount of calcium.
Yes.
And if they're not free ranging and, getting a lot of it, you will notice, like, have you ever gotten one of those eggs where it basically doesn't have a shell? It's just like the outer casing of it is like, it's just like soft and weird. And
Oh, it's a lash egg?
No. Lash egg is like an infection, but it's just an egg basically without a shell. It's like just what's the outer membrane? Membrane? Wow, that was hard. I did it though. Of the egg, and so it's basically and you can like pick it up, but it's just like there's no shell there.
Right.
And the other way you can tell your chickens need calcium is if their egg looks almost like wrinkled. Have you ever had an egg that looks like wrinkled in a spot, even around the middle? It basically means that they don't have enough calcium in their diet. So.
Yeah, I've never had any of that. I mean, I guess because my chickens have plenty of calcium.
Well, and I've
never had any of those things happen. It's crazy.
I think a long time ago when we were little, we had one of those eggs without the shell because that's where I remember it from.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it was like when we were like
12.
Yeah.
12. Yes.
Yeah. So it was quite a bit ago, but since then I've seen people like bring it up and being like, I found this egg and didn't have a shell, but
yeah.
Anyways,
so easy fix though. Another. I mean, while we're on added calcium for your chickens, oyster shell is really good if they do need a bunch. Like if you need more than like whatever eggs you use in your house to give them that added calcium boost, oyster shell works really well, and it's pretty. You can get a big old bag for it for not too expensive.
Yeah, you can even like, bring in your eggs, and if you have an excess of eggs, which we do right now.
Yeah.
But you can even make some egg, like scrambled eggs with the shells, and your chickens will just eat it.
I just did that. I pretty much do that probably like twice a week at least for my chickens. I scramble
make them a little breakfast.
I make them scrambled eggs because we have so many eggs and we just don't go through them all.
Yeah, it's great for them.
And especially the ones that are in the coop.
Yeah,
because they don't get obviously
they don't free range
the foraging
that
the
bugs
ones
have a lot of calcium in them.
Exactly, and so I give them scrambled eggs with their eggshells back.
Nice.
Yeah, they love it.
What was I gonna say about that? So you would think like, why can't you just? Because like your chickens, like my chickens, if I drop an egg, they're like all over it and they'll eat it like without cooking it. They don't care.
Yep.
And it's perfectly fine for them.
Yes.
But that can get them to basically start eating their own eggs.
Yes.
So that's why Sherry takes the time to like scramble and stuff like that.
Yeah, good point. My girls were always like, "Oh, I cracked one of the eggs accidentally, so I just threw it to the chickens." And I'm like, "Don't do that. Just bring it in or give it to the dog or whatever because they're gonna start." And once your chickens are cracking their own eggs,
and eating them?
It's pretty much over. Like, because they teach all the other ones how to do it, and it can be pretty bad. It can get
and people
really
either
excessive.
have to like cull their flock or like separate their hens.
The ones that are doing it, it gets really crazy because they're not. These aren't dumb animals. I mean,
they
think they were because they have tiny itty bitty heads.
They kind of are.
They are, but they're not. Like once they learn how to do something, they're like, oh, I see.
We had one that did it frequently, and I would never like get eggs from over there because she was just eating them. She's like
making myself some breakfast.
Literally making it.
And eating it.
Yeah. I think that's all of our chicken hacks.
Yeah. Yes. Goats. So we've got lots of goats. Okay, I don't know if you milking goats, depending on where you are in your milking and how your goats are with their personalities and their attitudes. So I have one who's like a really big bitch, right? And when she first came to me, I got her from...
I can't reach that.
They were just doing like 4-H and stuff, but she produces a ton of milk. They weren't interested in her anymore just because they just didn't need the goats anymore, I guess. The daughter's grown up or whatever. So I go to get her and she's like, okay, so I get about half a cup a day. And I'm looking at this goat's udder like, no fucking way you're only getting half a cup. I'm like, wow, she has a really big udder. Is that she just doesn't give? It doesn't produce that? She's like, oh no, she produces a lot, but she only lets me milk her a half a cup.
Sherry's like, I'll fix that.
What the hell did you just say? I'm like, she lets you? Okay. So anyways, I took her home, and she produces a ton. Now, whenever I milk her, I don't just bring my little milk pail, my itty bitty Nigerian milk pail. It's adorable. I don't milk her in that. What I milk her in is essentially a stainless steel saucepan with a handle. I milk one-handed. I hold the pan with one hand underneath her, and I milk with one hand. That's only towards the end of milking her.
When they're like over
when
it.
I'm like originally milking her, the saucepan's underneath her. I'm milking with two hands. Everything is fine. But then she gets to a certain point when she's like, okay, I'm done, which means you're done. And I'm kicking over that milk pail. And so now I'm just, nope. And you saucepan in one hand, milk one side with one hand, on the other side with the other hand. And anyways, it works really well. And then whenever she goes to kick, I just pull the saucepan away.
That's right. It has a handle.
Yeah, exactly. And so it works really well for that. And so that's kind of a hack. If you do have a goat that is very, very fussy and just thinks they just rule the roost.
I think everybody has that goat.
My other two are just angels. The other two goats, I mean, they are freaking angels. They will stand there forever. I mean, they're just great. They never kick.
Because I have one that is a butthead and one that is just spastic. And like
that's special.
Yeah, it's fun for everybody involved. But like Odessa, again, like once she's getting, and that's not like we're like shove them into a stanchion. Like they have oats, and it's like they want the oats and everything. It's not like it's a bum deal. Like they're just like get milked or whatever. And like, yeah, anyways, stupid. But
no, they're just little brats. I know. I feel
towards
the same
end
about
of
Leah.
milking, she'll start to kick, and so I'll either have to have somebody hold her foot. You can always tie up their foot. Obviously, you can't tie it too high.
I would just if you were gonna tie them, it's much easier to just get some whatever you're using to tie them with and tie their little hoof to the stanchion. And if your stanchion has holes in it, like mine does, yours does, that would work really, really well. Yeah. I've never had to tie goats though, personally.
I feel like it's like more of a hassle.
I feel like it's more of a hassle, and I feel like I don't know. I'm like, no, you're standing here until I'm done milking you. And if we have to stand here for an hour, then it shall be an hour.
But you're meaner than most people.
I'm not being mean. I'm just like, I just want my goat to behave.
It's a little mean.
It's not mean. It's not mean.
It's a little mean.
Shauna also has no spine.
True. So I have a couple goats that they're in with their babies. So Sherry separated her babies because, again, she's mean, and I'm really nice.
I separated my bucks when they were
No, you separated your little girl.
She is 7 months old, and she is fat. She is a fat little tick of a goat. She does not need milk anymore. Do you know she was surviving off just milk for 7 months? She looks at the hay. She's like, no, thanks. I got milk. You're like, what the?
She's so tiny, but she's basically as wide around as she is long.
Like, and I'm not even joking.
Like it's crazy. This little goat looks crazy because she just has gorged herself
7
on milk.
months of milk. And plus, not only was it's from 2 does she was drinking
Yeah. She's very naughty.
2 does.
But it's very sad.
It's not sad. She is ridiculous.
She wants to be with her mom.
She's ridiculous.
So I don't have the heart to separate my baby goats because I feel it's sad because they want to be with their mom. So even though my goats are like older,
she's ridiculous.
They will still they'll still nurse, even though I don't even know how old they are. They're probably almost a year. They don't need to anymore. They're good. But so I use teat tape instead. And if I'm going to do a video on how to and stuff like that. It's really not complicated, but there are some little tricks to it. But teat tape works if you don't have the space to separate your goats, right, or if you don't want to, like
or
me.
If you don't have a spine.
Yeah, or if you don't have a spine. It works for either one.
That's right.
I am actually going to, I was talking to Honest about it, like separate their night pen to where they can still like lay next to each other and see each other. Yeah. But then they'll just be separated.
That's a really, really great idea.
I think I'm going to do that. Yeah. But we'll just have to figure that out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. But you had a hack for the teat tape, though. Not specifically how to put it on. Because you're like, oh, you could just buy medical tape this size.
You're
okay,
so smart. There we go.
It's there. She's remembered, folks. She's remembered.
So, my husband's always looking for the deal, right? He never wants to spend too much money. I'm the opposite of him. But so you can go on
I'm the opposite
your
of him.
regular
spend all the money.
All of it. I want all the animals and all the things. But you can go on your regular goat supply like online or whatever store, and you can get the actual teat tape, and that's what it's called, is teat tape. But all it is 3 millimeter. Did I say that right?
No, it's 3M is the company.
3M is the company?
Yeah.
So what it does?
3M micropore surgical tape.
Oh, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But 3M is the company, and if you
Glad
can
we're
just go,
It's 3M micropore.
3 micropore?
Yeah.
3M micropore tape.
Surgical tape.
Surgical tape. Anyways, if you just look up surgical tape and you get the one with the 3 and the M on it, you're golden. But it's a lot cheaper through places like Amazon and stuff like that. And you can get like a bunch for, the
Not
price
as
of just
expensive as the
yeah.
teat tape.
Yeah, that you would get through. I mean, I know it's always nice to support the smaller,
But some of us don't have money to support the small businesses.
Some of us have
who
too many
are-
animals and have a lot of money to spend on animal feed. So
Too many animals, too many kids.
and you go through a lot more teat tape than you would think, because like you have to take it off daily, and then you have to reapply it.
Well, and
daily.
depending on, like, I milk twice a day. I would have to take it off
Exactly.
twice a day,
So,
reapply twice a day.
I'm only milking once a day now. I want to go up to twice a day, but and I could do that if I did separate them. But so just the once a day, and it's kind of like a hassle. But I won't keep the teat tape on her all day because I'm not milking at night, because I don't want her to get like uncomfortably full.
You would have more milk in the morning, are you aware?
She's already like so uncomfortable. Like when she comes out, she's like a huge baby, and she'll like drag herself to the stanchion like on her knees. Like she's a
My
very
God,
big
drama
She is
queen.
a drama queen.
Jeez.
Yeah, she's my goat.
Well, makes sense. Everything is right in the world.
So, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Is that all of our goat hacks? I can't think of anything else.
I'm going to refer to our list.
Refer to our list.
We have a list.
See?
Milk and two.
Isn't
Oh,
that
so,
good?
okay, we should have done this under the controversial topics.
Why? What is it?
We're super controversial, right? We're
Are
just
we?
like, we're throwing things at you. Controversial.
What is it?
Pumpkin seeds.
Oh, I was like, tell me.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
I was like, what are you reading? What is controversial on there?
That was so funny, Shauna. You are hilarious. Okay, so it is controversial. I, just recently.
It's annoyingly
It's so annoying. Okay, so I just recently was on just a Facebook site, and something popped up in my feed. Some woman was asking about a natural way to deworm.
Specifically looking for a natural way.
Specifically a natural way. She
Okay.
didn't say,
Great.
you send me a snapshot of whatever med you use. It was like, I want a natural form of dewormer. Pumpkin seeds. Yes, I use them. Yes, they do work. So anyways, I go and I'm typing and boop-a-doop-a-doop and type in my stuff. And yeah, you need a 1/4 teaspoon for every 10 pounds of body weight. Gave her all the details. Crush them up, blah-de-blah. And then I have 4 people come at me, crazy people, telling me that does not work. And one was being just downright aggressive. The other 3 were that passive aggressive, well, no, that doesn't work. Smiley face. You're like, get
There's
your
a
smiley face
specific
out of here.
compound in pumpkin seeds that's proven it doesn't
It
kill.
works.
It doesn't kill the parasites, but it basically paralyzes them, so they're easier to pass. The tapeworms.
Right.
It works for tapeworms specifically. So
it's like Shauna said, it's absolutely proven. We absolutely use it all the time. My goat, Leah, that's my pain in the ass goat, who just recently last July had
my husband's having a stroke over there.
had her babies, and she needed to be dewormed afterwards. And I used pumpkin seeds, and I just sprinkled them in her oats, crushed them up, and sprinkled them in her oats, and she is back to her normal self, and she was pretty soon after that.
And
it
you
was
do have to do it quite a bit. It's not just the one time. Just keep on doing it, and it might take several weeks or whatever, or a couple weeks. And if they're not overly infested,
well, and I feel like that's part of the reason we have all these people usually come at us with no, that doesn't work, because they want a one-time fix. They want to give their goat one thing one time and have some magic fucking pill. And you're like, you know what? Well, actually, so that's actually probably not the best way to do it. To be honest, what are the fucking side effects of all that shit?
Okay, so I totally agree with you.
And not that we don't use med
if
dewormers
your
sometimes,
animal
because we do.
is overly infested with tapeworms to where they are super skinny and have lost too much weight, and you didn't figure it out until it was almost too late, and your animal looks like it's like, just
then
crawled out of the crypt.
You do
then
need a magic
grab
pill.
the stuff that like works right away.
Exactly.
But if you are like, oh, they might have tapeworms, I'm not really sure. The pumpkin seeds are going to help, and they won't do any harm to them.
Right, and that's the other thing. Like, I mean, you're not getting any side effects from crushed pumpkin seeds.
Yeah, it's super. I'll do it. I sprinkle it on my cat's food. Like, it's just easy, and we always have in excess of pumpkin seeds because, like, at the end of fall we save all of our seeds, and it's pretty easy. So
that's a hack, and it does work. But
super controversial.
Yeah.
I had a lady come at me too when I suggested it to another person that was asking about
a natural remedy.
Mm-hmm. And she was like all up, like I was like, whoa, like buy me dinner first, okay? Like
I only felt like that with my husband.
Yeah,
okay?
I know, like, jeez.
And he buys me dinner every night. Yeah. What do you got?
He should buy me dinner every night.
You're like, are you listening? Hello? No, he's not.
I know, not paying attention. So yeah, okay, so we're gonna move on to garden hacks.
Yes, we are.
Are we?
I'm forgetting all my garden hacks. Oh, okay. So really easy. Use your empty toilet paper tubes to start your seedlings. Super easy, and it's just very cost effective. Obviously,
and they're compostable.
Yeah, they just will compost right into the ground, and so that's it. It's all it all works so well. My daughter also. I rarely get to do that, actually. I know Shauna's done it, but I don't because my daughter uses the toilet paper tubes for bunny treat toys. She makes bunny toys out of the toilet paper tubes. She's kind of obsessed. It's very cute.
No, I like it.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome. And her bunnies love it. She does she cuts them and she's over there like cutting little, I don't know what she makes. I'm like, how did you make that out of a toilet paper tube? Yeah. It's pretty remarkable.
She's very innovative. So this is kind of a cool one. So I know like nobody has freaking packing peanuts anymore, but if you do,
I was gonna say I haven't seen packing peanuts.
But you can always
so
get some
long.
if this is like really like up your alley or whatever. So when you are filling like a planter or whatever with all this dirt, and then it's just heavy. It's just freaking heavy, and it's annoying.
Oh, it's ridiculously heavy. Yeah, and the smallest container will be so heavy.
It's dumb.
It is dumb, Shauna. So, I agree with you. Dumb.
So you can fill a container, like fill it with some packing peanuts, like, a little less than halfway, and then you can fill the rest with dirt, and your plants will really thrive because it helps with, what's the word? Drainage. And it also, like, it makes it lighter, so you can move it wherever the fuck you want to, and you don't have to, like, break your back, so.
Or get your husband to move it for you.
Yeah.
You can do it. I have a very heavy pot that needs moved.
I have one. I have one. No packing peanuts.
I have several.
And I was like, I don't want it there anymore, but it's so heavy. Like, I don't know how we're going to move it. The dog wants in the back door. What's the next one? Okay, so I know we've talked about, like, pallets and things, and, like, pallets are amazing, and we all have seen like the Pinterest pictures of somebody like taking apart a flippin' pallet and like making a fucking couch out of it. And like,
I love when you say couch. That sounds uncomfortable. And or like, have you seen like those like? I don't believe it.
No. There's some pretty amazing things that you can do
like
if you
have a table. They'll make like a freaking.
If you have the time.
Coffee table.
And energy that you want to put into all these pallets, because you have to think, like, once you get all the free pallets and you're super amazed with them, then you have to take them apart slowly and very
agonizingly.
It's so agonizing. I don't know if you've ever taken apart a pallet.
Well, you had to refinish it and everything. It's obviously it's not going to look like that, like right off the fucking wherever you picked it up from. Like you're gonna have to stain it and sand them.
It takes longer.
If you're that person, that's amazing.
You should do it.
I'm definitely not.
Show us your pictures of your couches, your pallet couches. We want to see.
I have made a fence.
But it's like
with my medicinal garden.
Yeah.
And we literally just took pallets. I'm painting them all white. I still haven't finished because I'm a gigantic procrastinator. But it'll look cute once it's all painted white.
It will.
And it's definitely
she didn't
eclectic.
have to take them apart.
I didn't take anything apart.
She just stood up.
And when I said I made a fence, I mean my husband.
I say that a lot too.
Who made the fence?
Well, I say that as I do a we.
That.
I'm like, we really need to. But when I say that, I mean him.
I mean just you. Yeah. You should go. You should work.
That's hilarious.
My husband built it so quick too. It's amazing.
He loves it.
That's crazy. It's a
But
good job.
We also, with pallets, if you're not interested in making couches and you just want to like use them right away,
Or
you
fences.
you can. I just made my compost bin out of them, which is
Yeah.
like literally just it was
So
4
easy.
pallets just in a square. That's all. That's all it is. It's 4 pallets in a square screwed together. Ta-da! You're done.
Yeah.
And it's a whole compost bin, and it's huge. And like you can throw so much compost in there, and then as it breaks down, it'll shrink a lot. So
And you were telling Mom that we should remember that one thing that she wanted to use as the compost, which we are, by the way. That one, it used to be the tortoise's old enclosure.
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
lid,
yeah.
And you're
No,
like,
they
no,
want-
use it as a bed. And you're like, just get some pallets for your compost bin. And Mom's like, I'm not going to be able to reach over those pallets.
I was like,
and you're
well-
like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And you're like, I use a long shovel. The conversation was hilarious. I think Mom thinks she's a lot shorter than she is, though.
she's pretty short.
She's 5'2". We're
That's
only an
pretty
inch
short.
taller.
I'm a lot taller.
You're
I
an
feel,
inch.
I
You're
feel
1
taller
inch.
though. I
You
tower
ain't.
over her.
Yeah, ain't taller. I mean, you are, but we're only an inch taller.
Okay. To be fair to Mom, like we just unscrew the front and then we stir our compost.
Wow, it sounds like a huge pain in the ass.
It's really not,
No?
because it's just like just a couple screws. You just unscrew
I
it,
suppose.
just ring, and then with a thingy.
That's
You don't
Shauna's,
use a thing. You
drill
use
noise.
an electric drill, and then you just unscrew it. And then when I say I mean my husband. He unscrews it. I stir it up, and
You're
then
like,
he puts
"Honey,
it back.
Grab your drill. We
Gonna
are
stir
stirring
the
the compost.
Yeah, it's really not that difficult at all, and it's like an easy composting area.
Well, and it's like you can always find pallets for free everywhere. Like, don't ever buy pallets. That's like the dumbest
yeah,
fucking
when someone's
shit
like
I've ever heard
selling
in
a
my
pallet
life.
for like
No.
they're like $2
They're
pallet.
trying to rip you off.
Yeah, don't
because
do
you can
it.
find those. You can find them for free all over the place
Yeah.
if you look hard enough.
You don't have to look that hard. Just go to anywhere that's like a business park, and they're dumpsters. They probably have them.
I know, that's where we picked all ours up.
Yeah. What else? What else besides pallets?
So these are just other random ones. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can. Have you ever bought green onions from the store? Good. Okay, so you take your green onions or grow them in the your garden. Once you cut the green onion, the part you're going to use, you can take the end of it, the remainder, you stick it into a little water glass.
The roots.
And fill it with a little bit of water, and it will just grow again for you. And you can just keep cutting it and growing, cutting, growing. It's amazing. I have mine on my windowsill right above my kitchen sink, and it looks pretty, and we have a constant supply of green onions in the house.
Very, very simple.
It's so simple.
So simple.
Another thing that is not widely known, I don't know why we were always trained to put produce in the fridge, but it is a very kind of an odd thing to do.
Is it?
Yeah, because the fridge is too cold and your produce goes bad, right?
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've had spinach go bad
Turn
and
your
everything
fridge
else.
down.
No, because I'm keeping milk cold. Anyways.
No, I mean it doesn't have to be on
it's not fucking freezing, but I'm just
sounds
saying.
cold.
Oh, you're not in it. Anyways, keep your produce again in water, just on your countertops or on a windowsill, and they will stay fresher longer. And you could put like, honestly, celery like in a bigger jar. You could put, literally anything. Think of any produce, and you can put it in water on your countertops, and they will stay fresh longer.
And that's why you should save all your jars, like your pickle jars, any jars that you get.
So I save all of our jars because I'm always like, I'll make, my kids fucking love waffles, right? And I make them from scratch. I don't buy like the bagged shit. I make them from scratch, and so I will, keep them, in the fridge, the batter in the fridge, right? So I can just like pour it in. So I keep all of my jars for and just for so many other reasons. And remember, I don't know. I'm not going to, even if I did remember which friend it was, I wouldn't want to call them out by name and be like, it was you. Anyways.
You know who you are.
We always have friends over at the house, like, oh my gosh, all the time. But anyways, we have this friend over, I think it was one of the boys, and they asked for a glass of whatever to drink. And so I gave them this jar, it was like just a jar. It's a
pickle
clean,
jar?
It's a clean jar. It wasn't ridiculously big. It was just a jar. And I put their juice in it or whatever, and they're looking at it and they're like, this is a jar. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, isn't that weird? It's like not a glass. I'm like, you're weird. What do you mean? I was like, I mean, it's a receptacle you drink from.
A
Like, don't
receptacle.
worry about it.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
It was just so funny how, like, some people are just, they go to Costco or wherever and they buy their fucking glasses and they're like, this is what we drink from. Throw that fucking jar in the trash. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of wasteful. I would just never throw a jar away. But I might be weird. I don't know. Are we weird?
We are weird.
Yeah, I keep all
But
my
I
jars.
think in the best way.
How you said that. I was swallowing. We are weird in the best way. But in the best way.
Yeah, I do save all my jars, but to a point where I kind of feel like a squirrel sometimes.
Yeah.
Where
Yes.
you open a cabinet and you're like, I have too many jars. And you're like, ooh, but I may need that one for winter time.
No, I always need. And then, inevitably they break sometimes and your kids fucking drop them. They're like, well, there goes one of my jars.
That's
So it's like, and I keep all the lids are in a basket above my pans in the laundry room. So I know
look
where
at
all the
you.
lids are.
organizational.
Yeah, well, I try. I fail epically in most areas of organization.
Except for
in my
jar
life.
lids.
Except for jar lids, exactly. I got that one on lockdown.
You guys have any
good.
questions about jar lids? Come to this lady. She'll
I'll
help
answer
you out.
all your questions.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm gonna have to come talk to you.
I'm not sure you're able to be there, but we love you though. Shauna's like, organization. Ew.
It hurts my brain. It
It
makes me
does.
want
I
to throw
know.
up.
I know it does. It does.
It like literally
yeah.
makes me nauseous.
She has an aversion to it.
I do. I really do. And like especially like overly organized stuff. It's just like it's nauseating.
Nauseating. Oh my
Anyways,
God. Freaking funny.
I think that's it.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
It's all for hacks.
Yeah.
And we have, like we said earlier, this is just like part 2, or we probably should have done part 2 and part 1 closer together. We're like at our 46th episode or 47. The part 1 was way back in episode 8. So go back there, check that out. And you can come back here.
That's fine.
Listen to part 2.
That's
Speaking
fine.
of organizational skills. We're amazing. Yeah, so we have done another one, just like I said, episode 8.
A very long time ago.
If you would like to check that one out. In that one, we talked about zip ties, hay twine, and a plethora of other things to, just hacks that you don't think about that you learn over the months and years of homesteading. I almost said podcasting.
That's the only way you can learn it. Any hacks, you have to come to us personally. But yes, we appreciate you guys all stopping in and listening or watching or whatever you're doing. And yeah, like always, if you have questions or comments, you can email us at, that was hard,
Our kind of homesteading at gmail.com. I like how Sean's like, at.
say our name.
That's your cue.
See, I should have pointed to you.
You should have. It would have been bad. You missed it. Missed opportunity, Shauna. Missed
Damn it.
opportunity.
Next time.
Anyways, our kind of homesteading at gmail.com. We love emails. We love you guys reaching out to us and just, just the personal contact. Like, it's just so cool. So, send us an email anytime with any questions or even just to chat. We love it.
But we're getting lots of comments on YouTube, so that's pretty cool. So thank you guys all for commenting, and we're trying to get back to everybody and all that. So
Yeah, I think I got back to everyone, and
I don't
if I
think you did.
didn't, you don't think I did?
I don't think so.
I think I did.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Are you just saying that to be a bitch?
No, this is
No, you did it. Failed. You suck.
you're the bitch.
Who replied to everyone? It was me.
Sherry does all the replies because she's better at it. She like puts in emojis and like is very flowery.
It's hard. It's a hard
with
word.
her words, and I'm very short with mine. I like it's
I
not
was like, thanks.
it's not that I really mean that, thanks though. I like mean it like from my soul, but like I just
It just doesn't sound like she gives a shit.
I don't like how you have, I don't know what it is. I guess
Shauna can't communicate.
words are hard in all aspects for me.
And clearly emotions as well. She's like, thanks. That's all you get.
And I'll try to like be more like you and like add emojis. I'm like, this looks so fake coming from me. Like, this is not real.
Shauna, like, this isn't me. I'm going back. Thanks.
So that's why Sherry does it. So
So yeah, if you're getting a reply, it's from me.
and
You're
if you
welcome.
get a short reply, it's from me. I'm sorry ahead of time.
And she means it deep from her soul.
I do. I
In the
really
best
do.
way.
Just who I am. I'm sorry. But yes, thank you guys all for stopping by, and we will talk to you all next time.
That's right. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.